When you think about Japanese cars, some of the first words that come into my mind are affordability, reliability, and practicality as well. They don't mess around at the end of the day, and it's no surprise that Japanese cars sell incredibly well across the world. And in fact, the most sold car ever in the history of the humankind is, of course, the Toyota Corolla. So with all that in mind, they are usually pretty good cars, but not every car that comes out of the land of the rising sun is a good one. If you're looking for a used Japanese car, you might find that these 5 examples are very cheap, but there is a reason why they are so cheap in these cases, and it's not a good one. So here are 5 cars that you should probably avoid if you're looking to get a used Japanese car right now in the US of A. The first one on the list is the Mazda RX-8. This is the first generation of Mazda RX-8 sold between 2004 and 2008 that I am referring to specifically here. Its engine was not the most powerful, but unfortunately it wasn't the most reliable either. A lot of users of this car have reviewed it and said that engine failures, power steering jerks, and excessive oil consumption, as well as numerous recalls throughout the car's lifetime, have made this one actually very unreliable, especially by Japanese car standards. So if you're looking for a Mazda, don't go with the RX-8, particularly between 04 and 08. Number 4 on the list, the Mitsubishi Eclipse. Unfortunately, this Eclipse is not disappearing anytime soon, but you should definitely steer clear of it. On the positives, it's got good mileage, it's got good fuel economy, and it's also pretty decent through the corners as well. However, if you're going for a model that's built between 1999 and 2003, and also from around 2007 onwards, do not go with this car. It is plagued with technical gremlins and reliability problems. Apparently, the wheels tend to get very easily damaged, and the tyre wear also is very poor too. And on top of that, even when it was new, the interior of this car is very minimalist, to put it kindly, a bit tatty as we would say here in the UK. Not the best quality, all meaning that your ride comfort overall is not a particularly good one when it comes to the Mitsubishi Eclipse. Number 3. The Honda CRX Del Sol. Now, again, when you think about reliable cars, reliable motorcycles as well for that matter, Honda usually comes up in your mind pretty quickly, but the Del Sol, unfortunately, this ain't it, chief. This is not. Even Honda do make some mistakes when it comes to the reliability of their cars. Now, one of the standout features is the fact that apparently there was a bit of a sunroof or something similar to that, but even without that, you probably could see the sun, as the name suggests, because the roof regularly leaked. Because of that, not very sealed cockpit, the actual experience of hearing the engine was very noisy as well on top of that, making conversations and listening to the radio rather difficult. The front brake rotors as well tended to warp, that is a massive reliability issue right there. So yeah, if you're going to go for an old Honda, don't go with this one. Number 2, the Toyota Paseo. Again, Toyota renowned for reliability, but not when it comes to this car. This was maybe between 1991 and 1997, and younger people may not have even heard of this car, and there's very much a few reasons for that. It didn't do particularly well, especially by Toyota's high standards. It's just a bit bland overall. You compare it to Toyota's cars from before and after, and it was just a bit average. It was just an average Japanese car. It wasn't the worst by any means. Reliability-wise, it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible. But yeah, it's just an awkward car. But the thing is, the big problem with the Paseo nowadays is that, especially compared to more popular Japanese cars, getting parts and spares if something does go wrong is very difficult, because this didn't sell. If you've got something that's gone wrong in a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla, you'll be fine. There's millions of those out there. But Paseo parts, at the end of the day, no, they are rare, and there's a reason for that. Now, I'm going to combine the final entry on this list because they kind of lead into one another. One is the successor to the other, and both are pretty bad. It is the Suzuki Samurai and the X90 as well. Japan very much entered a decline in the 1990s economically, and that is unfortunately reflected in a lot of the cars that they exported to the US. The Samurai and the X90 included in that from Suzuki. According to Consumer Reports, when it launched, it was given a safety rating of not acceptable. Was the Samurai. They were trying to replicate what Jeep had with its kind of boxy lines and its kind of harsh edges, but unfortunately they didn't make it a very safe car. And if your car is coming back as not acceptable safety-wise, would you get in it? I'd hope not. The X90 was meant to correct some of these problems when it launched as a successor to the Samurai, but unfortunately, again, this wasn't it, Chief. It had a very big tendency, believe it or not, to tip over just like the Samurai when going through harsh corners, meaning that unfortunately it was very easy to roll over. And when you're in a car that has a not acceptable safety rating, you don't really want to be rolling over in it. Embarrassingly as well, even for the time, it had a tiny 90 horsepower coming from that engine, which for not the smallest car with big wheels and off-road environments means that, unfortunately, as we would say here in the UK, it is as much use as a chocolate fireguard, i.e. none whatsoever. It's just not meant for off-roading, not meant for on-roading. Get it in the scrap heap because it is not a good car. These two have to go down as two of the worst Japanese cars of all time. They've got to do, surely. But yeah, those are the 5 used Japanese cars that I would definitely avoid. The 90s very much dominating this list, unfortunately. You know, I'm a 90s baby, but when it comes to these cars, I don't really have a lot of love for any of them, to be honest with you. Have you owned any horrific Japanese cars over the years? Which one would you suggest to join this dishonorable 6? I mean, 5 entries, but 6 cars technically. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to see more content like this, have a fantastic day, and like, share, comment, subscribe as always. You know, really appreciate it. You know, all the love and support on the channel. It's all going good. So yeah, see you soon, guys, for much more videos on the world of cars just like this.